As you look live at Gainbridge Fieldhouse this morning, it is 6 o'clock. It is Monday. Yes, probably still celebrating in there from that Sunday night win, but I kept refreshing the score before I went to bed last night because I was like, uh-oh, Google must be behind.
Right.
Because I could not believe the 40-point difference at one point. In our favor, though, so it was okay.
Yes, and then we held on to it, not necessarily by 40, but that doesn't matter. We were up at the end, and that's what matters. Now we've got a little bit of rain for our forecast. After if you headed to that game last night, great night to be downtown.
I was so jealous. I went to Friday's game.
Nice.
Which we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, not so nice, not so nice.
Went to bed last night at halftime. I'm like, oh, we have scored 80 points in the first half.
Yeah.
We're good. So awesome win. Of course, we're looking forward to Tuesday. We're looking forward to some warmer temperatures, maybe not so much the rain chance, but that comes with the increased mugginess in the air and the more summer-like setup for us. So let's talk about these changes. High pressure that's been in control over this past weekend, well, it's starting to weaken and move off the East Coast. So that's no longer going to block this area of low pressure to our south, which has brought pretty stormy weather across the southeastern U.S. over the past few days. That's now lifting in our direction. So not only are we watching the clouds build in, some rain also just to our south that will likely move in. We are seeing some of this more humid air overcoming the dry air that we've had in place. So I don't show you the dew point temperature all that often, but I think this does a good job of showing us where that more moist and humid air mass is currently, with a dew point of 62 in Nashville versus the 49 that we've got here in Indy versus the near 40 up near Chicago. So things are changing, and we're changing up our air mass, and you can see it. In fact, where we've already seen some clouds roll in, that's setting up a pretty big temperature differential from north to south, where the sky's been more clear north, a little cooler at 50 in Kokomo, 60 right now in Indy, and 63 in Shelbyville. We're headed back to the upper 70s today, but a stray shower this morning and some isolated storms going to be possible this afternoon. Not an all-day washout, wouldn't cancel your plans. Just make sure you've got an eye on the radar if you will be out and about later today. We'll talk more about the timeline for the rain chances for the rest of the week coming up. Here we go at 6:02 though. We're going to take you to one of those trouble spots that we've been monitoring over the past week and talk about what's going on here at the South Split. Not much of an issue just yet. This is looking north from Raymond Street on 65, approaching the South Split. So this is typically that stretch of interstate where we do get those backups. It's because we've got this new traffic flow pattern. We've had some concrete barricades set up, and all of this is associated with the I-65 safety and efficiency plan that's going to run through now through 2027. So basically, the first step of this is impacting I-65 between I-465 and the South Split. First thing that they're doing, this first phase at the South Split's the new traffic flow pattern. Next will be to close off the 65 northbound ramp to Keystone Avenue. That's going to be happening coming up on the 17th, running through August. All of this in an effort to add some extra travel lanes in each direction, adding some new pavement, as well as doing some bridge replacement and removal to make that stretch of 65 safer. So again, no big issue right now. We'll let you know if we start to see delays develop.
Thank you, Lindsay. Well, this morning we're working to learn what happened before two men were shot near Riverside Park on the near northwest side.
Metro police were called to a reported shooting on Riverside Drive near Birdsall Parkway around 6:15 last night. The park was full of people enjoying the weather. They found two men with gunshot wounds. They were taken to the hospital but are expected to recover.
Yeah, police said the park was packed with so many people out and about, and that made the situation even more concerning. So now again, they're on the hunt to find out who's responsible.
This is Mother's Day weekend. This is when they're here trying to enjoy family time. And something like this, having a firearm brought into a situation with hundreds of people and used recklessly, is not excusable. That action has to stop. That is not how we're going to do this in the city. This summer, we're not doing that. We are going to continue to work diligently with our community members so that we can bring justice to these individuals.
We're checking back in with police to see if they have a suspect. Anyone with information about this shooting is asked to call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous at 262-TIPS. Happening today, a second clemency hearing for an Indiana man that is set to be executed in just over a week.
Benjamin Ritchie was convicted of killing Beech Grove police officer Bill Toney more than 2 decades ago in September of 2000. Officer Toney was chasing Ritchie when Ritchie turned back and shot Toney 5 times. Now, with days before his execution, Richie is once again asking for clemency.
Last week, he made his case to the parole board. The 5-person panel interviewed him for an hour at the state prison in Michigan City.
William Tony's life could best be served me helping other guys not reoffend. It's horrible that he lost his life. There's not a day that goes by I don't wish I couldn't take it back. But me helping other screw-ups not reoffend, not come back to Indiana's prisons, I think his life could best be served that way.
Now, the parole board has another clemency hearing today at the Government Center South. It is open to the public. It starts at 9 this morning.
Right now, Metro Police are asking for the public's help to find a man who they now say was involved in a deadly crash in February.
So an arrest warrant has been issued after that crash left a cyclist dead near the busy intersection of Raymond and Shelby Streets on the city's southeast side. That's where Matthew Foltz is live this morning with more as police are trying to find the suspect. Good morning, Matthew.
Yeah, good morning to you both. We do know here at this intersection, a memorial has now been placed here that represents and honors Dylan Rogers, the man who was hit and killed as he was biking that morning, right leading up to the moments before he was killed. And now we know this morning Metro Police are issuing an arrest warrant for the man responsible for this fatal crash. Now, Metro Police telling us that man is Chase Turner. Police say the incident happened around 7 a.m. on February 13th when Dylan was riding his bike in the crosswalk right in front of the 65 off-ramp here along Raymond Street. Seconds later, police say he was hit by Turner's truck. Metro Police say Turner then pulled over into a nearby restaurant and flagged down an officer. Now, a blood draw later showed that Turner had about 24 nanograms of Delta-9 THC in his system at the time of that crash. It's also important to remember that Delta-9 is legal here in Indiana. Right now, Turner is facing a charge with causing death when operating a motor vehicle with a Scheduled 1 controlled substance. Now, back here at the scene, you can see part of this memorial, a picture of Dylan Rogers. Again, that is the man who was hit and killed here at the scene. And Metro Police say they do need your help in finding Turner. So if you have any information, you're asked to give police a call. Of course, Jalea and Julia, this is really impacting Dylan's family as well as the cycling community. You'll hear from some of them coming up at 6:30.
Yeah, you can see that memorial that says father and brother, and I imagine they would like some justice soon. Matthew, thank you.
Well, this morning we are working to find out more about a man accused of ramming his truck into the juvenile detention center in Johnson County.
So I want to show you this picture. This is the pickup that crashed into the building. You can see on the back in that black spray paint, the driver wrote the words "Fathers Matter" on the tailgate, police say. The sheriff's department goes on to share that the man's son is not in the detention center here. He told police that he was angry, though, at the juvenile court, claiming he hasn't seen his son in more than a year.
Now, thankfully, no one was injured in this crash, but there were people inside working close by. The suspect is now facing 3 felonies, but has not yet been officially charged. Deputies do say he also has an arrest warrant out of Shelby County.
All right, how about those Indiana Pacers this morning? They had an historic first half in Game 4 last night on their way to that 129-109 blowout over the Cavs.
It certainly was. So the Pacers already had 80 points by halftime. They now have a commanding 3-1 lead in this series. Our Eli Gain has more from Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
That's about as good of a response as you can get if you are the Pacers after Game 3 on Friday, where the Cavaliers handled business right here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The Pacers pulled an Uno reverse card on them and did that on Sunday night. 129-109 was the final, but it felt a lot more than that, and specifically in the first half when the Pacers had a 15-point lead after the first, and then in the second half continued to pour it on, leading up to a 41-point lead at halftime. That ties an NBA postseason record. This was a game where everything was going in. The rim was an ocean for the Pacers, and the rim, well, had a pretty big lid on it for the Cavaliers. 3 players for the Pacers scoring at least 20 points, 7 scoring in double figures, as they now have a 3-1 advantage in the series looking to go back-to-back to the Eastern Conference Finals if they can get it done on Tuesday in Cleveland.
We're a pretty significant underdog in every game we've played in this series, and that will continue till the end. And we're going to keep approaching this like we have everything to prove. And we know people don't believe in us. And so we're going to just stay in the fight and keep fighting.
We just came out with good energy. I thought last game they set the tone from a physicality standpoint. That's been a talking point from them all series, and they set the tone. And today we came out, set the tone from the jump, and really just rode that wave.
Couple of notes in this one as well. Donovan Mitchell did not play in the second half. He has a left ankle injury. Coach Kenny Atkinson said that he will be having an MRI on that ankle. Not much more detail there. Certainly going to keep an eye on that heading into Tuesday. Also, Rick Carlisle, 33 postseason wins with the Pacers. That surpasses Larry Bird for the most in franchise history. All right, Game 5, I should say, will be on Tuesday at 7 o'clock in Cleveland. The Pacers with a 3-1 series advantage. At Gamebridge Fieldhouse, I'm Eli Gain for 13 Sports.
All right, we are changing up our weather pattern as we look ahead. Showers and storms return to the forecast today through the week, but low wind severe threat. We're looking ahead at Thursday, where the Storm Prediction Center now highlighting the entire state of Indiana for the potential of some strong storms Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll talk about the timeline coming up in your full forecast.